Hello and welcome to this Eyes of Harmony podcast, weekly podcast where we talk all Doctor Who news.
Classic, except that 1 week we didn't.
Except, well, that was a holiday. We have some rest sometimes, but that was, stuff was going on. But not consistently weekly, but largely consistently. Like 90% consistent.
90% weekly.
Yeah, 90% weekly. That's it. That's it. So yeah, we talk all kind of Doctor Who news. Obviously, at the minute, there's not too much going on, but we're doing our best. But yeah, hopefully, as like kind of a new series and stuff gets announced, we'll have a lot more to talk about. But tiny few things. This week we had the three Doctors, which was David Tennant, Matt Smith, and Jodie Whittaker, all did like a little kind of interview for the release of Doctor Who series 1 to 11, kind of going on to HBO Max. I don't know why they're pushing it. It's already on BritBox and also Netflix. Well, but hey ho.
I guess because that's American tailored. You know, I guess
that's true. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, there was some nice questions. It was nice to see them all kind of chatting away. Kind of makes me really want a free Doctors kind of thing with those three. It would be very cool. It'll work well. I mean, get Peter Capaldi, see if he'd come back. Obviously, try Eccleston, see what he'd say, but who knows? But yeah, it was nice. They had some interesting questions, like who would you want to travel with if you had to choose a different companion not from your era? And David Tennant said the Brigadier, and apparently the Brigadier was supposed to be in the wedding of Sarah Jane Smith, which I didn't know that.
He was, he had a stroke right before it.
Yeah, and then he passed not too long after filming that, which was sad. But yeah, it's a shame that he wasn't in that. But he was in at least one of those Sarah Jane Adventure episodes. I think it was the finale of series 2, I think, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, with the Bane.
He got to reprise his role, but he never got to go be on screen with the Doctor again. It's a shame.
Yeah, at least that Kate Stewart's always been a nice ad. I still think it's weird that they haven't had her since the Zygon Invasion version, but there we go. I always feel like that's such a wasted thing, and they've done this weird thing with Unit, but I know they're I think they're playing the long game with this one, and there'll be a big kind of story behind it, I think. Because remember, they tried to call it in Resolution, and then it was mentioned again in Spyfall. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like they're working to something. I hope they're working to something. Or it would be a little strange to bring so much, not just one episode, but 2 episodes worth of precious dialogue towards this thing that they're gone now.
I mean, it could just be them going oh, why don't you just get Unit here? Because, stuff and things are happening. Because, of course, they were kind of the hidden... They'd be dealing with a lot of these issues, but oh, why can't they deal with the issues? Because they're not around anymore. It could just be an excuse.
It could be. I find it weird because Chris Chibnall was the one to write Kate Stewart back in. It was kind of his creation in some ways. He was the one to at least first pen her kind of character. So.
Well, no, she was a thing. That's when they introduced her into the main Doctor Who continuity, but she was in Downtime.
Oh yeah, I know, but that was never really I don't know, super canon. It's a kind of a small canon bubble.
Sort of now, just inherently because Kate Stewart is a thing. It's kind of sort of.
I need to watch the Downtime stuff actually.
But yeah, so I guess.
And Osgood would have been completely his as well. That's at least enough apart then.
It depends though. How much contribution did Chris Chibnall have to the development of the characters, or was it more Moffat going right? I want to introduce these characters here. You write them in this story.
Yeah, it's interesting how much. I wonder how much what's the word how much a writer can put into their script, how much are they told to, and how much freedom do they have to write what they want. I know that they're usually given a time zone and a kind of if something specific has to happen, they're this has to happen, but sometimes I've heard it just be as loose as that. But I wonder if something for the Power of Three, if it was very specific.
Quite possibly, given kind of how they kind of worked on Unit after that.
I guess they knew that they needed them for the 50th.
Yeah.
So it works having the introduction there rather than with Clara.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do need to watch those downtimes. I need to get them first. But
yeah.
they're on DVD, aren't they?
And Blu-ray.
Yeah. Oh, they've got Blu-ray. I'll probably get
Yeah.
I'll get the Blu-rays then. But talking about Blu-rays, the Series 6 Steelbook was revealed. And I really like the artwork. I really like the kind of the green feel. I always kind of, in my head, I always thought they'd go for a blue. I don't know why, but I just always felt like that was the direction they would go for that one. I'm not sure, but it's some really nice artwork. Obviously, it's got Matt Smith in the Stetson with River, and kind of basically a lot from kind of the top and tail of the series, being Impossible Astronaut and The Wedding of River Song. But I really like that they've got Idris from the Doctor's wife on the back, even though it kind of seems a little out of place, being like it's basically all of the Impossible Astronaut, Wedding of River Song, and what's it, Day of the Moon. And it's just her there, like chilling out. But I'm glad that they represented her, because she is like, that story is my favorite of the series. And it's really nice. The background seems very kind of still a bit Van Gogh-y to me. I know that they really went with the Van Gogh style for Series 5, which was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really nice. And they had the whole Pandorica thing on the back. I love these steelbooks. Like, they're so nice.
Yeah.
The artwork's just...
I just think they're a good excuse to own some of these. Because, like, up to date, like, I already had, like, 1 to 5 on DVD. But that gave me a good excuse to get them all again on Blu-ray. And Series 6 has been actually the first time I've ever owned it physically. Like, of course, I watched them all when they were broadcast, but I've never actually bought Series 6, like, ever. So, it'd be nice to finally fill that gap, although there's still a few more series after that I don't currently own.
Well, yeah, I mean, Series 5 came out really recently, so I'm surprised this one's come out so soon. Because, like, they were, like, a year in between, like, Series 2, 3, and 3 and 4. God, has that much time passed? Wow. I remember like buying, when I bought my Blu-ray player, I literally got it with, I bought the player and the Series 1 Steelbook, because I was like, oh, that looks too good just to not get it. Like, it's just so, like, they're so gorgeous. So yeah, included in this kind of box set of 14 episodes, so it includes A Christmas Carol, which is great, and the whole of Series 6, The Impossible Astronaut, Day of the Moon, Castle Black Spot, The Doctor's Wife, Rebel Flesh, The Almost People, A Good Man Goes to War, which I'm excited to watch that one again. Let's Kill Hitler, Night Terrors, The Girl Who Waited, which is great and underrated, I think. The God Complex, Closing Time, and The Wedding of River Song. So from like the links that I've seen, the best website to get it from is Zoom. If you're in the UK, they do free delivery, and it's only, I think, $27.99. So that's actually the best site to get it from. And Amazon wasn't allowing me to buy it. It was saying unavailable.
No, you currently have it up.
Yeah, it was like they had the picture and everything, but it just wasn't there, and it's still
that happens sometimes with products which they are going to get in, but they aren't yet.
Yeah. I guess still working out how much they're going to charge people for it. But yeah, the Zoom is good, and I've bought from them before, so they're safe. So yeah, I'm excited to watch them again. I know in my memory, like, I always kind of didn't like Series 6 as much as the others, but I think going back, and I'm excited to watch it again, because maybe I feel like my opinion on it might change quite a lot with kind of time, like between actually watching it live and watching it now. You know, my memory of Matt Smith as the Doctor is, like, he was great, like, so awesome. At the time, I never appreciated him as much as like I do now. Like, when I think back, I'm like, damn, he was a great Doctor, really.
He was. Yeah, I don't necessarily have the best memories of Series 6 either. I don't know how much that would change with a rewatch, but I mean, certainly my appreciation. Well, I mean, because like I enjoyed Series 5 at the time. Then, like, I think some of the stuff that came later kind of soured me a bit on the whole era. Then I kind of came back around a bit with Series 5 more and more, like, as time has gone on. Nothing like that's really happened with Series 6 thus far, but, maybe I'll be surprised.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see at least, because, I mean, while we know that the bad episodes stick out, I think maybe we're forgetting that actually, like, the opening two-parters actually quite good, really, I think, in memory. Like, I enjoyed it when I watched it. I think, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it was something, like, at the point of life where we were at when we were watching it. Maybe just it wasn't right for us then. Like, maybe as an older audience going to it, it would be better for us. Because I know we're in that weird transition. Well, we're kind of teenagers, weren't we? So we're kind of in that kind of, like, a lot of people were dropping off Doctor Who, and like our kind of, I guess, our tastes were changing. So maybe the things that we loved Doctor Who for as kids and the things we kind of love it for now have kind of changed, and like we were in that change period, I guess, maybe. Because definitely when you're younger, you get like, you definitely get more scared by it, and I definitely had like adrenaline rushes watching it, and I know like as soon as I saw like the TARDIS like plummeting through like the time vortex with Murray Gold's theme, like I would get like adrenaline rushes. I'd be like, hell yeah, like nervous, scared, excited, all of that. And obviously as you grow up, that kind of, you don't really get that anymore. You get excited, but like not like the pure adrenaline rush of I'm going to be scared by this, because obviously as a kid, 7-year-old, 12 is pretty scary, like monsters and stuff.
I'm not sure about if it was that point in my life that was like that for me. I think it was more, I kind of ended up missing episodes and not thinking about it as much during like Series 7 and maybe Series 8 a bit as well. Was kind of when I was like, sometimes I just like outright miss episodes and not, I just forget.
I have to catch up on iPlayer.
Yeah.
Well, this is when the split started, wasn't it? Like that was, I think, the big issue here, because I know I really hated the split, because for every single year, bar 2009, we'd had it consistently in Easter, like consistently every single year. It was Easter. You knew when it would come on and so on. And it was like, the weirdest thing about it was like kind of just like a month break, wasn't it? It was like, it ended in like early July, and then came back like later August. It was such a weird, like maybe 6 weeks or something.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know. I get what, I think why they did it is because they were actually preparing for the 50th at that point, scheduling wise. But obviously at the time we didn't quite, I know at least I didn't quite understand why the hell they were doing that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was for scheduling, because if they were doing a series, they wouldn't have had the time to film the 50th. But yeah, even earlier. So the last episode was the 4th of June. That was A Good Man Goes to War, and then it was back August 27th.
Okay, so a bit longer.
So about 2 months, basically, almost 3. And yeah, it's interesting though, because in some ways, like, you then get Doctor Who throughout the year, which isn't bad. But then the issue is then we didn't get enough of a Doctor Who episode until September of the following year. So it wasn't like, okay, well, we're gonna get then half a series early and then half a series later. Because I mean, they do that with The Walking Dead. I think they do like half before Christmas. They do October to like December, then they pick it up in like February, and then like, so they have like a month off, and then they do the rest of a series. But I don't know. But yeah, I think like this is when like it was really sporadic, the gaps, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it then just became really strange. Then it ended up like in autumn with Series 8. And then in kind of autumn again with Series 9, and then we didn't have it for a whole year in 2016. That was a slow bloody year. And then 2017, it was back in spring. We were like, yes. And then it was back in autumn with Series 11. And then we got then early this year. So it's just moving all around the place.
It is.
And it's like, it's just so, I think, yeah. I mean, we've spoken about this before, so there's no need to go on and on about it. But I definitely think, like, God, that really, like, all the way back at 6, we're like 6 series later, double the time later, and it's never been in a consistent spot since, basically. And like the next series won't be, it's not going to be January. So, oh man, who knows? Who knows? And yeah, that's kind of, I think that's where like I kind of my slight distaste towards Series 6 is because that's where it all began. That's the point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a part of it, but ultimately it was like the consistency of episodes, and
you did really jump around.
For me, like the biggest problem with Series 6 was just how many episodes were dedicated to fulfilling like an overall narrative rather than actually be a good story in its own right.
Yeah, because you had the opening 2-parter, then you had the Rebel Flesh, which was connected to her.
Yeah, although that kind of stands on its own.
Yeah, you can watch it by itself. Okay, so the first 2 episodes.
That one I wouldn't count.
Then A Good Man Goes to War.
Good one.
Let's Kill Hitler. And then Wedding of River Song. So 5 out of 13.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's too much. Like, even if you have like one, like that's in itself is sort of all right. Like, I don't mind, especially like at the beginning of a series, right? Establishing.
Yeah, you got to
like,
establish the arc.
Narrative.
Yeah.
Like, if it had just been like the first 2 episodes as is, and then like the other episodes which were in the final thing more just for pushing the ongoing narrative were more standalone, but with like narrative elements, I think I would have had a better overall reception of the series. But instead, like, what is Let's Kill Hitler? It's nothing.
It is. It's a very.
It's just such a nothing episode, and like to a certain extent, like, you know, I can think that way to like with A Good Man Goes to War as well. You know, it's like
I really enjoy Good Man Goes to War though. That one is a lot better. It is good. It's a good. It's like how the Doctor like pulls the army together. I think kind of Let's Kill Hitler. Most of that's
already done in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
I think isn't very much of a pulling the army together. Just like, oh, we're all here.
It'll be interesting to see what you think again when you kind of rewatch it. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should go just through each episode and see what we think. Rewatch, revisit series. What? I mean, like by next year that would be 10 years. Jesus Christ! It's so long ago. Crazy. But about this time 10 years ago, they would have been filming it. So let's put it into perspective. Crazy. I mean, like, yeah, looking at like the Russell T era, like, really, you had like kind of 3 episodes dedicated to like the whole plot kind of thing, like, or it would just be like the end, or it would be a separate adventure and a tiny thing. Like Gridlock because like a 5-second line of "You Were Not Alone."
Yeah,
and that's it. Like that's that one. And the Lazarus Experiment
throughout the whole thing.
And that stuff is more like woven, I think, that's what's better in like kind of from what we've kind of seen over the series. Like series 9 did it quite well with kind of Clara becoming more reckless. Now that was more subtle. I mean, obviously it didn't pay off that well, but it was well set up. Same with like, you know, the Missy plot line. It never overall, like, series 10 is fun. Like, it's just fun, that whole series. Like, it's good because nothing ever is held down by a really strong over the top plot narrative, really. I mean, the what's in the safe, I mean, we kind of all guessed it was Missy, but it
was a piano.
Yeah. And it was like, but it was only up till like, what was it, Oxygen, where he had to let them out to get the TARDIS to them, or no, Extremis, one of those two. But like, you know, it was early on, basically. Was like they only used that for half a series and it was gone. And it was about then Missy's redemption arc, basically, which was also great. But it's so subtle and like never was the main part of an episode.
No.
And I think yeah, series 10 basically was the one which kind of went back to kind of the roots of the best kind of series.
And that is by far my preference. And I'm kind of, I think we talked about this before, but I'm a bit annoyed that they're kind of almost going back to this, like with Future for June specifically, was just like an episode to push a narrative rather than being a strong narrative on its own.
They did it better in actually Series 11, the whole arc thing with just Tim Shaw being at the beginning and the end. It was just a shame that he wasn't quite as threatening enough as he needed to be.
Yeah.
And that was just I think the issue down to budget really. They didn't show any effects of like the planets being like, you know, there was no, you didn't feel any threat level because like this planet was being shrunk, but you couldn't see what was happening on Earth, and you know, you couldn't see all these, like, it just didn't matter. Like, they didn't have characters who'd appeared throughout the series. You know, they could have even done Yaz's family. Yeah, there was no stakes at all. And that was the issue. That didn't feel, but that was the great thing about Series 11, and I will praise it for this, was it was just fun, 10 fun adventures. Fun in quotes. But like it like I could jump into any point of Series 11 and be happy just to watch it and wouldn't feel like I was being like crushed in plot narrative. But for Series 12, while I think it had overall better quality of stories, so many were dedicated to the plot, the whole series narrative that it's harder to drop into. Like the ones which I could drop into were like Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, Paraxis, Can You Hear Me? And that's about it really. The rest are all kind of either Orphan 55, which why would I want to watch that one again? You got the 3 at the end, which obviously Sidemen, the 2 at the beginning, which I still enjoy Spyfall as a story, but again, kind of mastery setting up. But actually, to be fair, Spyfall isn't too much about the timeless child, really. It's kind of just mentioned. So really, actually, Spyfall I wouldn't actually count. It was just, it's 4 out of 10, basically, which shortens it down to 6, and then 6 out of those 2 was a 2-parter, so that it's like you've only got kind of 5 stories there out of 10. You know, that's the issue with a shorter series, is like it would have been fine having 3 episodes for the Sideman finale if you just had more episodes in there, you know. And it's an interesting one. I wonder, as we've spoken about before, you know, is it budget? Is that why they're cutting it shorter, or just like? Yeah,
I think it has to be that.
Are they putting more budget into each episode? And
I think beforehand, when they had more episodes, they had like, well, you know, it still was like on a TV budget. Like they were getting enough views to justify getting like a larger budget to spread across all those episodes. I think now with the viewing figures having, I mean,
they're not even that bad though. That's the thing. It's like. And like you got to think like iPlayer. Yeah, they're not. It's not as high as it was like when it first.
I think that's why Series 12 did have a bit of a boost over Series 11. It was because like, especially initially, Series 11 like had quite high viewing numbers. So I think that's why there was a jump. But I don't think it was enough of a jump to allow for more episodes necessarily. But since this series wasn't, like, kind of went back to
basic
Series 10 Series 10 levels. It's kind of gone back to how it was. Like, I don't know if we will continue to see that. It might just continue, the budget might just continue to shrink from here on.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It'd be great to like see the inside of how the machine works. Because obviously we're just talking from the outside, looking in. You know, it'd be very interesting to find out actually the true how does it all work out and so on. You know, how much do they decide before the series what they're going to do, or do they kind of like, you know, it'd be interesting to see the whole process really. But yeah, so Series 6 Steelbook comes out August sometime, 10th of August, so not too far off actually. That would be nice. Into the collection. I actually watched Unearthly Child episode 1 yesterday.
Which version?
The real one, not the pilot. Because because on the DVD basically, if you press play all, it starts with the pilot episode, which like really that should have been a special feature, not like in the main episode thing. Because I know so many times I've ended up watching the freaking pilot and like not the actual one which was aired. But to be fair, I never noticed like the issue with the pilot too much, really.
Oh, I mean, to a certain extent, like, there's a few things I even prefer with the pilot, but like the whole production as a whole is like a lot more.
It's messy with the doors opening and stuff. Yeah,
and like lines are fluffed in several places, but I like Susan being a lot less earthly, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because she did like the ink.
She did weird
thing.
stuff.
Yeah.
She acted more alien, and I like that.
Yeah.
Like that was more compelling than just having a, just be a slightly smart in some ways. Like in the final one, it's just kind of, oh, she's a genius at history and science, but then she says weird stuff about other things, and
yeah,
sure, like you can kind of see where they're going with that, but about how they're kind of trying to portray her not really fitting in and kind of not being from around there with that.
Well, it's clear that she's a genius, but also not from there. That's like the angle they wanted to go with.
I don't think they push it far enough. To be honest, I do prefer just the weirdness of her in the original pilot. Although I know, that's entirely subjective, and clearly the final one worked out well enough as is.
Maybe it would have been too weird for the audiences at the time watching, potentially. Maybe that could have been a...
Maybe. But, like, everything else, yeah, of course, the final one is just pretty much objectively better in every way.
Yeah, though I did notice a couple of mistakes. So at one point, because obviously I got my the new TV recently, so it's obviously blown up massively. So I did see a boom pole mic come just as like Ian approaches the Doctor kind of in the TARDIS. At one point it's kind of coming, it just pokes in the top left corner. I was like, and that's when I was like, wait, am I watching the pilot or did this just get in? But to be honest, like on the old like TVs where they were even curved edges, like on the old TVs anyway, 3x4 curved edges, like no one would have noticed that. But
and that and the resolution on everything.
That, yeah.
This image would have been so blurry.
And the Doctor still kind of dropped his scarf in the version that went out as well, which kind of makes me laugh. It's like he takes off his coat and it comes off with it, and he goes to get it, like his scarf is like, huh? Oh, there it is. But like it's a nice little William Hartnell kind of little like trinket there. I'm glad they got rid of what century they're from, though. I know that was in the original. Like he was like, oh, we're from the 100th century or something, like or something like 10,000th century. But it's it's art, man. It's such an awesome like introduction episode. Like
the
whole thing is just so awesome.
It's very tightly kind of it's just like such a well written, well kind of kind of structured introduction episode for a series.
I just love how quick
it's a shame
it
that
is,
the rest of the Unearthly Child storyline that they aim to have isn't quite as strong.
Well, I'm gonna watch the rest of it kind of slowly, and basically what I plan to do is just go through the series like all the way from the start all the way through, see how far I get. Obviously it's going to take me a while because some days I'm just going to do one 25-minute episode. If it's a good story I might do a couple, but I just kind of really want to see like just really just watching it over time, what's it like kind of thing. Because it's just nice to do, innit?
I do intend to do that at some point, though I want to watch all the episodes I haven't watched first.
Yeah, because there's so many I haven't watched at the minute. I've watched them like one time, but that was probably like 7 years ago. I know Paradise Towers I watched on the VHS I got given of it, and that was donkeys back. Like that would have been like 12 years maybe.
For me, I've cleared like Tom Baker's. I've watched everything from that now, so I'm like kind of going through the 80s. Well, I haven't really actually started because
take a break.
But I mean, there are some eras which I haven't seen. Like actually, I haven't watched kind of a majority of Peter Davison's and Colin Baker's, to be honest.
Fun times.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. It's what I love is I just really hope that actually they save like that very first episode, like they store it somewhere, Maybe they have, but they really should store it as a thing of time. Like it's just awesome. Like such a big thing, and I'm so glad it exists. Like,
oh yeah,
I would be gutted if it didn't exist. Basically, it's so awesome.
Imagine if we only had the pilot.
Honestly, even that would be like somewhat fine. But like I just love that we have it. It's awesome, and it's it's crazy that it all started back there. I wonder what William Hartnell would think now. Like,
he probably would be pretty disgusted, to be honest.
I don't
Knowing
know.
the era and certain things people have said in interviews, he'd probably be kind of horrified. But
I think he'd be proud that it was still going, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to put words in people's mouths.
Well, I mean, it was definitely. It was. I think his most proudest thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, just in terms of
Okay. Wow. So, what's interesting is the show was granted a budget of £2,300 per episode, which is the equivalent to £48,500 in 2019, with an additional £500 for the construction of a TARDIS, which was basically 10,500. So cool. It's so cool. Like, so like they put the TARDIS on £500, but then you gotta like understand how powerful the £500 was back then. That's crazy. 10.5 basically. Crazy. Wow. And they if successful. Oh, so it could have been broadcast on the 24th of August actually, originally. That's cool. Awesome. And the Adventure in Space and Time is obviously like such an awesome thing as well to watch with it. I wonder actually if, when they do the Steelbook for like the 50th anniversary ones, do you think they'll include it as part of Series 7?
I think they'd have to.
Or do you think they do just a Matt Smith specials one like they did for David Tennant?
Well, I don't see how you could do a Matt Smith special.
Well, you do.
I mean, they could just do like a standalone.
The 50th
Steelbook.
Yeah, the 50th Steelbook.
I mean, they could do that. I kind of hope they don't.
Oh, really?
They could. Yeah. Well, that'd just be another expense for like one episode, one 50-minute episode, and a documentary. No.
Well, no, because you could have Night of a Doctor, which
That's
is.
why I said the 50-minute.
Oh,
episode.
Yeah. So you've got that. You've got the 50th. You've got Time of a Doctor as well. So you'd have a Christmas special on there.
Yeah.
You could also have Adventure in Space and Time on there, which my current 50th.
Well, that's why I said documentary.
Oh yeah. Docudrama.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You could have a 5-ish Doctors, which is hilarious, and then just if they did like a new documentary. That would be nice. Something like Looking Back. Just some extras, like.
But
content.
in essence, in terms of actual like full episodes, that'd just be like two.
Yeah, but they did do the 10,000 like the box set I have, which is the really nice one with the like, kind of Gallifreyan, like it looks like the Moment kind of box is how they made it. They did it for that. To be fair.
Yeah. I mean that worked for the 50th anniversary when like, to get all that content in one kind of box makes sense for that era. But when you look at it now, it's like, when you look at it, it's 2 episodes, something that could just be a special feature. Like actually, both like additional things could be like just more or less special features. Like, and they have done that with the other Blu-ray stuff, like Infinity Quest and Dreamland are on like some of the Blu-rays as like bonus features when originally they had their own separate releases. So I think for that, I would just put them all in Series 7 for me.
Yeah,
but it may mean it'd be less cluttered and less expensive for us, quite frankly. But maybe that's exactly why the BBC will be doing them separately.
I feel like Series 7 deserves like it will have its own artwork. And then like the 50th.
But it was all kind of building up to the 50th, though.
I guess Name of the Doctor is very much.
In particular, yeah.
Yeah. Though, actually, they did include Name of the Doctor on that box set actually, which I always thought was a bit weird. But yeah, it's because it's like a trilogy, really, isn't it? They have a Doctor, they have a Doctor, Time of a Doctor, but yeah.
So I'd like it all to be one, but I guess we'll see what they decide to do. It's not like the David Tennant specials, so where you really couldn't put that with Series 4, and there was enough content in there to, because that enough in there to justify having its own release.
Yeah, because they put the next Doctor on there, didn't they, as well? So
yeah,
that's like enough for Christmas special.
4 episodes.
Yeah.
5 episodes.
Yeah, because End of Time Part 1, Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, my gut thinks they're gonna split them up though, mainly because money. Yeah, I see it happening, but it'll be nice to have Adventure in Space and Time in Blu-ray form, because I don't have that in Blu-ray because I got that 50th box set back when I only had DVD players, so I didn't get that in Blu-ray. Though there was a version to get of that.
It was, but not a very wide release.
No, it was only 10,000 per one, and I got it because I didn't want like just the individual DVDs, because I had box sets consistently, and I just didn't want like a single DVD with like Matt Smith's face on the spine of it, like just like sticking out, because like the Day of the Doctor one was fine. It was a Time of the Doctor one where it was just like a white spine with blue, and it wouldn't have fit in at all. I was like, no, I'm very like, I know, I was very consistent with things matching, which is why I like these steelbooks, except they changed the logo on the side and it kills me still. At least it's only
changed the back of the classic DVD.
God, we're so like the smallest first world problems, like get over ourselves, but it still annoys us. God. But it's nice because honestly I miss collecting the Doctor Who DVDs, you know. I miss getting them.
I mean, we're still kind of collecting them when they release like the new animated.
I missed when I had like a whole selection though, and it was like, oh, which one should I get? You know, because there was like abundance of choice.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and they had all like the box sets, the revisitations. I remember getting those.
Working up through years and years and years.
Yeah, and it was kind
of. So eventually at the end, I just said, "Screw it, Nick's already got them all. I'm just gonna catch up like now. I got money now."
Yeah, to be fair. And then I became a student, so now I'm just poor. But hey ho, it's final year of uni coming up, and then I'm out, and then it's just earning money, so I can spend it on ridiculous shit I don't need, like a 50th anniversary steelbook, which would release probably in time for. Oh no, actually no. If they're doing Series 6 this year, they do Series 7 next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't wait 2 years before doing the 50th.
Depends on how, like, Series 5 was released...
This year. It came out this year. I got it in my new office, so I know it was this year.
Yeah, so it'd have to be, like, the beginning of next year, probably.
Yeah. Or even the...
Or maybe even the end of this year.
Yeah. It depends what the licenses are, because I know that's why it was so long between, like, Series 3 and 4. It was some kind of license thing.
How could it be licensed?
I don't know. It was a weird thing. Like it had to be something or other before it could.
They already released all of them on Blu-ray though before.
I know. It was something about the Steelbook. I don't know. I remember just reading like a in-depth thing somewhere as to why it was taking so long between like I think it was 2 and 3, because it was ages, and I was a bit worried like, oh no, they've stopped them. Crap. Like. That's great. But, yeah. Oh, the other thing, 10th Doctor's back with River Song. And Peter Davison's in the shadow in the background, so I wonder what that's all about. So there's that as well.
Interested to see how that fits anywhere. I guess it probably have to be after.
It'll be probably during, specials. Like, kind of, during the specials period.
Despite the fact that Matt Smith didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Then again, that's been like a problem the whole way through.
Well, actually,
they've had big finish with River Song with like practically all the classic Doctors. So
yeah, but I mean, she's got the memory loss lipstick. Makes it very easy. Kiss the Doctor, wipe his mind.
I guess so.
Yeah. I wonder. See, my worry is that the Series 12 Steelbook looks a lot like the Series 6 one, like kind of in terms of like the art style, and I'm worried like it's of the same series, so it's like, wait, do I get it now or?
Because they've been doing like separate Blu-rays of them since like, well, I mean, technically even since earlier, but like they had like a series 10 Steelbook and a series 9. I think series 9.
They had a series 9, I'm pretty sure.
So definitely, yeah. I mean, I might not bother to... If they do release another Series 10, I'm not sure if I'll bother, because I've already got that on Blu-ray, unlike like most of the rest of my collection. I do actually own Series 10 on Blu-ray, signed by John Sim.
Yeah, you got it signed. I was going to say, well, you could just sell it and get the Blu-ray, but yeah, obviously if it's signed, yeah, don't want to get rid of that one. I mean, major profit, but don't want to sell it, obviously.
I think I got it personalized. I wouldn't even sell for that much.
Unless you find another comrade out there. But like, I think it's...
I get a lot of them personalized. I know it means that the value of them goes down, but like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, like
I get autographs not because of the value that they're going to end up with, but because that represents kind of a memory
of going
meeting a person and the event that came along with it.
See, actually, the complete Series 12 Amazon exclusive Steelbook, so it's I think it's different because it's an Amazon exclusive.
But weren't initially some of the Steelbooks listed as that, though, weren't they? Like, initially, like, I thought that, like, when Series 1 first came out, it was like... I know they released it elsewhere later, but I thought they listed it as that at least initially.
Potentially.
Maybe it was like a limited... exclusivity deal or whatever.
Yeah, maybe like release it here first. Sometimes people do that, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like these are very different in terms of style because these only have like the Doctor on the front, while like these Steelbook collections that we're getting always has the companion and the Doctor on the front, and then like kind of, you know, a really cool like collage on the back of characters and everything. Oh yeah, the new Power of the Daleks. When's that coming?
Yeah,
July, with now not the Highlanders.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. So more reluctant to get it now. Like,
yeah, I know. I kind of want it just so I can continue to have like a complete kind of Blu-ray selection, well, DVD selection, I guess. Even though my DVD selection isn't really complete because I don't have like a lot of the old versions of stuff.
Yeah,
I suppose, such as like, you know, so I don't have like the OG release of a lot of them except for like Remembrance. I did have Spearhead and Space Original, although I think my sister currently has that. Not that I don't think she's ever seen it, but.
I think I have the original Spearhead. I have the original Green Death, and then you got me a special edition.
Yeah, I got the original Green Death as well. I got the original 2 Vengeance on Varos.
Oh wow! Oh yes, yeah, because you got it signed, didn't you?
Yeah.
Vengeance on Varos, yeah, because you were at the convention. You didn't have anything, and they had just that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, I've got the the TV movie. Actually, yeah.
You gave that to me.
Yeah. Oh yes, I gave you the TV movie because I got the
my sister might have that as well.
I got the updated one, yeah. Yeah. And then and I've also got the Blu-ray of movie now as well.
See, the Series 12 Blu-ray actually I don't mind how that looks, to be honest.
I'm just but I'm like, is it part of this series or are they gonna do another one?
I mean, I wouldn't be upset if I just got that, to be honest.
It's nice. It's just, it's a lot more, like, it's 50 quid at the minute, so I'm a bit like,
Yeah.
So...
Same with practically all of them, like...
Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, I don't know, I feel like there'll be re-releases with different artwork.
Yeah, because they put all the stuff like the Faceless ones, and the Macroterror also have these books as well.
Which are nice, but, you know, I want them in kind of my collection, so I will just continue with the DVD, even though there are Blu-rays of them. To me, it's just pretty much, like, it's cartoons, and, like the original footage isn't really upscaled, is it? The original episodes, if there's any existing, or have they upscaled them?
Well, I mean, I think for a lot of these... I mean, they're being outputted at a higher resolution. Like, even if it is upscaled, technically what you'll see on the TV will probably... Yeah, there will be some sort of difference. It won't be suddenly like a massive jump, but... Although I think in terms of like, especially like some of the other Blu-rays they've released of the classic DVDs, like the collection series Blu-rays, they've actually have had additional like remastering and like such to take it beyond what we saw on DVD before.
So maybe I'll get some of that. I don't know. Who knows? It's just too much, isn't it? And there's like other things I want to buy, you know.
Yeah.
But luckily, I haven't collected too. I haven't got into super collections of really anything else. I mean, I've started collecting vinyls, so you know, there's that. But I've tried to stay away from doing any big collections of anything because it's just so much money goes into this.
I spend a lot on video games and video game collectibles, but yeah, I don't really complete anything as such. I just get stuff that's cool.
It's better to be like not trying to complete.
But like I buy so much.
Yeah, currently really the only other thing I collect is the Legend of Zelda games, but I mean that's a game every 2-3 years in it. So 2 years. And I think they're trying to do like a game a year at the minute. I heard some kind of thing, so either a remake or a new game coming out, which is pretty cool. So I'm guessing it's probably maybe the new game end of next year. Would be my guess for Breath of the Wild 2, because obviously like they've built a lot of the elements already, like the physics will pretty much be the same. It's the same system, so they don't even have to work any of those bugs out.
Depends on how development's going, and we have no idea.
Well, luckily nothing's really halted because video games can all be work at home stuff, but I think they're okay over in Japan, aren't they, for Corona?
No, they were locked down.
They locked down, but I don't think the figures are too bad actually. But anyway, they could have worked from home, is what I'm saying. Like it's video game stuff. Sure. It's not like a major needs to be done in an office kind of stuff. So yeah, it'll be cool for that. Looking forward to it. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah.
For this week, Steelbooks, go get them. Not sponsored by anyone. So yeah, there we go. So let us know. Below, are you collecting these DVDs? What do you think? Do you think they'll split the 50th into 2 or put it with Series 7? Who knows? And what do you think of the Power of the Daleks getting a remake? I'm annoyed. Like, why update those graphics? Do ones that we haven't got yet. Do Dalek Master Plan. Come on, man. Ugh. So soon. Like, 4 years later. Like, I'd get maybe if it was enough for like 2 years and it was like 8 years later, sure. Like, almost a decade, fair. But like, we're not even over halfway to a decade, so it just feels like too soon. But yeah, there we go. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.